Hello, my name is Simon and this is the Retro News Roundup. To start, the launch of the Switch 2 ushered in some retro news in that GameCube titles have been added to its online service. The first clutch of games available are Soul Calibur 2, The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker, and F-Zero GX. Second, and last for this section actually, is that the BBC have added a documentary onto YouTube that was made 40 years ago. It chronicles the UK video game industry at the time, most notably the fall of Imagine Software, developers of Bandersnatch and Cyclops. It's worth a watch if you've got a spare moment, as it's a fascinating time capsule. Let's start with the usual Arcade Archive releases on PS4 and Switch: Strategy X, Crazy Balloon, Ridge Racer, and Spinal Breakers. Then the Switch got a quartet of Egg console releases: Tritorn, Mado Monogatari 1-2-3, Mugen no Shinzu, and Revival Xanadu Easy Version. The Switch also received Jaleco Famicom version The Last Ninja, as well as Front Mission 3 Remake. PS4 and PS5 players also now have the chance to download the PS1 versions of Myst and its sequel Reven via PSN. Then there was the game you've all not been waiting for, Gex Trilogy, which contains 3 Gex titles too many. It's now available on PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One and PC. Next, Backyard Baseball 97 swung and hit both the PS5 and Nintendo Switch. And on the sports theme, Jaleco Sports Goal was booted onto Good Old Games, as was Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition and Devil May Cry HD Collection. There are also 2 new Evercade carts released in June, namely Gremlin Collection 2 and Windjammers Karnoff and Friends. And last and quite possibly least, no, only joking, that's reserved for Gex, is that a remake of 1987 title Batty was released on itch.io. One new retro-friendly accessory was released last month, the Megaswitch HD, which allows for digital-to-digital HDMI for your Mega Drive. A pretty quiet homebrew section this month, but let's stick with tradition still and start with the 8-bit releases. They include Baby Man vs Terminatots Part 1 and the Pyramid for the ZX Spectrum, as well as the Catacombs of Cherubim and TantooMan on the Commodore 64. Next up were Turrican 128K and Speed Racer, both released for the Amstrad CPC. And then to round off the new homebrew, AmiSeaFox swam onto the Amiga, Cosmic Payback cashed in on the ZX81, and finally Castle of Terror petrified the Game Boy. To start, Dominion on the Commodore 64 was released online, and then 2 prototypes of unfinished games also made it onto the web: Duke Nukem D-Day for the PS2 and Animaniacs Hollywood Hypnotics for the Game Boy Advance. And what would a long-thought lost section be without mobile games? And there are 3 for this episode: Rockman, The Puzzle Battle, Galaga Kai, and Lost in Blue Mobile, Marina and Riku Edition. 6 English language fan translations were completed in July, 2 for PS1 titles, Jingle Cats and Yaku Yujo Dangi. Then a pair of Mega Drive games, Hybrid Front and Kidu Kaisatsu Patlabor 98 Shiki Kidu Seio. And to round things off, Belzerion on the 3DO and March and Veil on the Famicom Disk System. But yes, that's all for this episode, and if you'd like to buy me a coffee, you can via this Ko-fi link, and thanks to Wodezettes for their generous donation last month. But of course, thanks to everyone who's hearing these words, and please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, click the bell to be notified of new videos, and please do take care.
If you don't want the hostage killed, you should keep quiet.